Hi. I want to do a series on Proverbs because it's a wisdom book, for one. And two, because I think it's one of the most misunderstood. There's a lot of repetition in some of the stuff because this is King Solomon. He wrote this, and he lived very lavishly, and he loved things in the world. But he would seek God and ask him, why am I not being the person you need me to be? Why am I feeling this way? How do I stop feeling this way? He's always seeking this growth with God. So that's why Proverbs is so repetitious, because it keeps falling into this back pattern of the world. So he tries to bring himself back. Okay, so I need to seek knowledge. I need to continue and repeat these things to myself so I can be in the right direction. I'm not going to cover all of Proverbs at once because there's like 31 chapters, and that would just, I don't want to keep you on here for an hour. I try to keep these videos between 10 and 15 minutes max. So it's quick for you. I'm trying to help you just get through this stuff really quick. You can go in and investigate. So today I'm going to do Proverbs 1 and 2. And again, he's starting with, he's seeking knowledge. He wants to share this with everybody because this is what he's learned, kind of thing. And when he gets to around Proverbs 1:20, he starts talking about how wisdom and knowledge is constantly calling us. It's constantly trying to talk to us, and it's constantly trying to teach us. And he goes on to say no one's listening. And that the only time that they really seek this knowledge is when they're in trouble. And we do that as humans. We tend to, seek God or want prayer when we're in trouble. We don't tend to ask for those things when we're doing good. I think that's why a lot of people started those praise reports, because it's like you pray for something, you want to know if it happened, like proof of prayer, which I don't agree with. I honestly don't agree. I can tell you, thank you for praying for me. I feel much better now, but I don't need that proof. That's not part of faith, is having all of the proof. We're supposed to be seeking the proof. So if we get it all the time, how are we seeking it if it's given to us? We need to seek. So anyways, it goes on and he talks about having fear of the Lord. And it's not normal fear, but there's a fear that comes over you when you realize that God is real and that he's out there. And you become humble, and you're like, oh my gosh, he can see what I just did. He knows I just did that. It's almost like the fear of a parent with the ice in the back of their head. You're scared your parents are going to find out you did something, and it starts to overwhelm you. That's the fear he's talking about that we should have of God. We should constantly be thinking about, what is God going to think of this? Is God going to agree with this? Is this really the Christian thing to do? That's what he's talking about here in Proverbs 1 when he gets there. And we've all done something that we need to be forgiven for. All of us. Whether it's tiny or large, we've all got something we need to be forgiven for. And that's the point of the Proverbs 1. He's talking about we need to listen when God is talking to us. We need to stop and hear him and fear him when we're doing things. When people are trying to lead us in a bad direction, if it feels wrong, that's probably God talking to us and telling us, don't do this. So we need to listen. And we all need to know that we sin and that we need to be forgiven. In Proverbs 2, he starts talking about if you seek wisdom and knowledge before the storm, then you're going to have it when you get into the storm. It's more difficult when you're stepping into a storm in your life or in a troubled period of your life. It's more difficult to stop and let God talk to you, only because you're so constantly praying about what you're going through. But if we have the knowledge before we go through the storm, then we'll be able to sit in the middle of the storm and already know that God has us and just relax and hold on while the winds are blowing us and wait for it to be over. If we don't have that wisdom ahead of time, then we're going to constantly be struggling. We're going to constantly be treading water. We're going to constantly feel like we're under attack because we haven't gained the knowledge that God's with us. So he talks about that. And he talks about God shielding us in Proverbs 2. And he gives a guide to build in your heart and soul to keep you from wandering into the darkness. And that is the light of God. Proverbs 2:10 and 11. For wisdom will come into your heart and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. You're going to feel okay and safe during the storm. Discretion will watch over you and understanding will guide you or guard you. That is what we're talking about. Having God in your heart will keep you through that storm. And he's telling you, get that ahead of time. Don't wait till you're in trouble. Do it now. So that is Proverbs 2. He also tells you that God will keep you from falling victim, because if you're listening to God, you're going to know when someone's trying to get you to do a bad thing, because God's going to tell you, don't do it. So, yep, he'll stand you up and be by your side through all things. Still Proverbs 2, sorry, I'm flipping through papers here. And he tells you to trust the Lord with all of your hearts. So, in total, running through very quickly Proverbs 1 and 2, he's telling you, I've got wisdom. Because I've been seeking this wisdom. I've been seeking God. I've been focusing my heart on God. And I've been trying to listen. And I see all of you, and you're not listening. You're not paying attention. And you only turn to God when you're in trouble. And then you get into trouble, and you're going to scramble, and you're going to panic. And if you would have just talked to God in the first place before you got into the trouble, you wouldn't have gotten into the trouble. And you would have had God with you in the storm. And you would have felt safe. And you'd know to just wait it out when you're in trouble. Wait it out, because God's already got it all taken care of. So that is Proverbs 1 and 2. In a quick flip the paper fashion. So, next will be Proverbs 3 and 4 on my next video. But what I pray for you this week is that you learn to seek the knowledge and wisdom even when you're not in the storm. And that you learn that God is there at all times. Not just in the storms and not just in perfection. He's there constantly. And he sees everything that you do. And he understands the heart of everything that you do. And it is my prayer that you understand that this week, and that you walk through this week with the wisdom that God gave to King Solomon. In Jesus' name I pray. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to get a hold of me and discuss this more, you can reach me at hmweimer@gmail.com or find me on Facebook. And as always, believe and make it so.